You, Reverend Sharpton, this is how the Huffington Post described it. A banner headline as the verdict came in: not guilty with an asterisk, but not innocent. That's how you view it. Where does it go next?
It goes to the Justice Department. Clearly, there are grounds for civil rights charges here. The mother and father of Trayvon Martin and I, with their lawyers, met with the U.S. Attorney in Florida the day I went down to organize the first national rally there. And we always said there would be a plan B, but there needed to be a plan A. There would never have been protests if there had been an arrest and if the police department there did what it was supposed to do.
You wanted Zimmerman to have a fair trial. That's what you were pushing for before charges were ultimately filed. Was this not a fair trial?
The trial happened. The verdict came in. That does not exhaust the legal options of this family and the bigger community issues of civil rights. We now have a position on the books in the state of Florida where an unarmed teenager who committed no crime can be killed, and the killer can say self-defense. That is dangerous. That is an atrocity, and I think that must be addressed. I think every American ought to be afraid that my child can do nothing wrong and can be killed, and you can use self-defense and tell 4 or 5 different stories that end up being inconsistent and still walk away.
But you don't question, you disagree with the verdict, but you don't question that it was a fair trial. If you wanted him to have a day in court, that happened, that part of the process worked.
I question the state law. I question, yeah, there could have been some things done differently at trial, but the real object now is to move forward on dealing with the state law and the civil rights. And as we mobilize, as you know, Martin Luther King III and I are having this march on Washington on his father's I Have a Dream speech. How do we have this country deal with Dr. King's dream 50 years later, and you can't walk an innocent child through a neighborhood without the child being harmed, less known, killed, and nobody can say, I watched the whole trial, no one can say what Trayvon Martin did wrong. They always get away with it, Zimmerman said. Who is they getting away with what? That's the basis of a civil rights inquiry.